90 days can completely change the course of your Forex trading results. It's enough to go from losing money to consistently making money in the markets, and it is also enough to pass your first funded challenge and get a payout. So in this video, I'm going to be going through exactly the steps that I'm going to be implementing this winter in order to improve my trading and how you can do the same. If you can stick around and watch this video until the end, I guarantee that you will learn at least one thing that will improve your trading this winter, and that can ultimately help you to reach your goal of consistently being profitable and having multiple six figures in funding. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get over to the laptop now and let's go through the first step. Okay, so the first thing that we want to be doing in order to improve our trading this winter is to do something called weekly ASR. So this is a process which has helped me massively over the past 2 years. I've been doing it every single week, and my trading completely transformed from doing this. And essentially what ASR is advanced self-review. And how do we exactly go about that? So what you're going to do is at the end of every trading week, whether it be Friday night or Saturday or Sunday, whenever you can do it, go back through your trades taken during that week, journal them. So mark up the trade, write down a technical review of the trade. So why did you take that trade from a technical perspective? What were the confluences that made you take the trade? And was this in alignment with your trading plan and your back-tested strategy? And what I would also do as well is review your psychology. So how did you feel about the trade? How did you manage your emotions during the trade? And did you make any sort of slip-ups or errors? For example, you may have exited the trade early due to fear of a loss, or you may have closed in drawdown because you were afraid of a loss. You may have FOMO'd in. So all of these sorts of things, make sure to journal them down, because if you don't keep a consistent record of these sorts of things, then you're probably just going to repeat the same mistake over and over again and never really improve. So journal all of the trades you took that week, technical review, psychological review, and then what we can do is also move on. And this is probably one of the major parts which helped me to improve the most, is actually journal any of the trades that fit your plan. So they were valid trades according to the strategy which you have, whether it be support and resistance, supply and demand, whatever it may be. If they fit your criteria, journal them down, and then do as you would with the normal trades that you actually took. So write down why you would have taken it from a technical perspective, but also journal down why you think you missed the trade. So for example, one example I had this week was that I missed a trade because I set the limit, but then closer to the time, as price approached my limit order, I started to doubt the analysis. I started to question the trade, deleted the limit, and then the trade actually ended up playing out in my favor. So that's something you could journal. And what I want to emphasize here as well is that by missed trade, I don't mean it came close to your entry and missed. I mean the trade would have tagged in, it would have played out, but you didn't take it for whatever reason. For example, you may just not have been on the charts, so you would have missed it. But journal these down, and this is where you will probably see the most improvement. Basically, because these missed trades, right, they're where your missed opportunities are, and therefore where your results could have been amplified. So if you miss a 3% trade, this could have been an extra 3% that you could have made that month. So this is very, very important. Journal the missed trades, all the trades you took, and at the end I will also do just a brief summary of what I did well that week, whether it be analysis or handling psychological pressures, and also what we could have done better. For example, not cancelling the limit, which played out. And just to make this more concrete for you guys, this is how I personally do the weekly reviews. So I have this template in Google Docs. It's very simple. I just write the week number, the number of trades I took, and if I do actually take any trades, I'll also record the number of profit and loss that it made. But in this week, we can see that I didn't end up actually taking any trades, hence why I put 0 there. But regardless of that, we can still go back through the week and journal any missed opportunities. So for example, here we had a GBP USD 1 to 4.5 risk to reward. And very simply, what I will do is I will record any screenshots on all of the time frames which I used. But the key part of this is to review technicals and psychology. So technical review, that's pretty self-explanatory. You just record why you took the trade from a technical standpoint, for so which confluences you used to take that trade and why it was valid for you. In psychology, because this is a missed opportunity, obviously there wasn't any emotionality behind the trade, but what I will record is why I think I missed the trade in this section. For example, at the time I was seeing the higher time frame as quite ambiguous, meaning that it wasn't clear for myself. So I wasn't looking for any trades and they were quite low probability. But regardless, we could have looked to capitalize on this. It's just something I missed at the time. So yeah, that's very simply how I would do weekly review. I would obviously then repeat this for all of the missed opportunities as well. And at the end, I will, if we go to the end, do a brief summary of what went well and what could have been better. For example, don't change analysis. If I see someone with the opposing view in the Discord, that is one key point for you guys as well. Make sure not to let other people's analysis influence yours, because it is your edge and your strategy at the end of the day. But yeah, that's how I would do weekly review. Let's move on to the second key point of this video now, which is to have a set in stone and concrete trading plan, ideally a written one, which you keep in front of you on the desk so that you are reminded every time you go to take a trade exactly what you need to see in order to enter. And well, I don't really need to explain this that much, but it's very obvious to know that without a clear set of rules to follow, you're not going to have an edge in the market. You may win a trade here and there, but over the long run, over a sample of, let's say, 100 trades, you're not going to be consistently profitable, and you're not going to ultimately reach that goal of being funded or building a live track record, if that's your goal instead. And the basic premise behind this trading plan is that to trade consistently, your trades themselves need to be consistent. So the same confluences, the same strategy, and the same risk. So for example, risk 1% per trade. And then your strategy is obviously going to depend on you and your situation. But for example, for me, it is based on supply, demand, and liquidity. So this should be consistent, and every single trade I enter follows the same set of rules, essentially. And this plan that you have, it shouldn't just be random. So let's say you watch a YouTube strategy, you then think this strategy is the holy grail, so you go and test it, or you go and implement it in the live market, and find that it doesn't work. And more often than not, people are surprised that this didn't work. And the reason why it didn't work is not because of the strategy itself, but rather the person who is implementing that strategy. Because even if you have the best strategy in the world and you got it from YouTube, your brain and your eye is not trained to see the same as that person you got the strategy from on YouTube. So what you need to do is backtest the strategy, collect data on it, and practice seeing it in the live market before you actually go and put real money behind a trade. And to do this, I use a software called FX Replay, which is this software right here. It's a very nice backtesting software, which allows you to create different sessions and place trades as though you were executing in the live market. So we can see it has a TradingView integration. So it looks the same as TradingView, but what we can actually do is we can draw onto our charts long and short positions and actually place the trade like this. So if we click save, it will place the order. And then at the end of the backtesting sessions, we can go and click on analytics, and it basically calculates any of the possible data points we would need to know: average risk to reward, max losing streak, best win streak, profitable days and times of day that you are most profitable. Essentially everything you could need to know, and you will find the link to this in the description as well if you want to check them out. But yeah, the point being, make sure you have a written trading plan. Make sure it's based on back-tested data and not just a random YouTube strategy which you think is going to work. And what I've done for you guys here is basically show you how to know if you have an edge. So if you guys aren't familiar with that term, an edge is simply are the probabilities in your favor over a large sample size. And in order to be profitable with different win rates, in order to be profitable with different risk to rewards, we can see what win rate we need. So for example, if we're using a 1 to 3 risk to reward, we will be profitable with a 30% win rate, but not with a 20% win rate. And if we're using a 1 to 1, we need to have a 60% or more win rate. So yeah, save this template. Make sure you understand the probabilities behind the trades that you are taking, and yeah, just follow this general rule. And if your strategy does have, say, a 1 to 3 risk to reward and has a greater than 30% win rate, over the long run, it's pretty much guaranteed that you will be profitable. So just follow this and tailor your strategy to these sort of probabilities. Final step then is to actually just focus on 1 or 2 pairs. I always say that each different pair, right, is like learning a different language. They all move slightly differently. They all have their different tendencies. For example, gold is quite manipulative. It will take out liquidity before then moving in the opposing direction, and it does this a lot. Whereas other pairs such as Euro pound, because it has less liquidity, because it's less traded, and there's less volume being traded in that market, it does so less, and supply and demand zones tend to be respected more. So that's why I would focus on 1 to 2 pairs, because if you try and focus on every single asset class, you're going to end up getting confused. But not only that, you're going to end up taking way too many trades and not knowing which setups to capitalize on. Let's say, for example, you're trading 10 different assets or pairs. 5 trades could pop up in one day. Are you going to take them all? Or let's say 4 of those lose. Are you going to be able to take the 5th one with the same mindset that you took the first? Probably not. Whereas if you are trading only 1 to 2 pairs, the number of setups you're going to get is quite minimal. And this is a good thing for numerous reasons, but the main reason being that you should focus on quality and not quantity, because this is going to be better for your psychology. You're going to be able to execute your plan in a more clear-headed state of mind, having not taken multiple losses beforehand. And it's also just going to allow you to know exactly what to look at every time you step onto the charts, rather than trying to flick through every single pair, actively looking for an opportunity. So yeah, make sure you're focusing on 1 or 2 pairs. If you haven't done this before, I guarantee this will be a game changer for you and will almost definitely improve your trading results. So now you have everything you need in order to improve your trading within the next 90 days. If you guys took any value from this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the future videos like this, and I will see you in the next one.